And now, from Louisville, Kentucky, the horse capital of the world and sports junkies' finest, giving you wagering advice and sports analysis. It's On the Switch with your host, Gino G.
From North America to Europe, from Europe to Africa, from Africa to Australia, we here at On the Switch, thank you so much for joining us again today. I'm your host, Gino G, as always, with my man Travis here on the back end. Today, we're going to be talking about the World Cup. First round of matches when it comes to the group stage have been completed, including yesterday. There was 3 matches, which were the second games of Group B and the end of Group A. Russia played 2 days ago as well to lock up a spot in the knockout round, and we'll go over a little bit about that. Also want to touch base on the Ohio Derby. It's kind of the biggest race that's going on this weekend. From Thistledowns, Jack's Racino in Cincinnati, Ohio. A schedule of 12 horses going forward. Of those 12 horses, you have a couple of Derby horses. We'll go over those as well. Lastly, I want to tell everybody and want to reach out to everybody here on the show. I sent out an email yesterday. We're going to be doing things a little bit different. We want to try out something and give everything back to you all, the people, the ones that have been supporting us from day one. As I wrote in my email, we started with 50 followers when we first started this entire thing. Now I have over 350. On the Switch is growing, and we have a little surprise for everybody, a little bit of a giveaway that we're going to be presenting here in the next week. So a lot of exciting things, and we'll touch base on that as well. But first, I want to start off by saying college basketball. Okay, Reed Travis was the name when it came to transfers. Right, he's coming from Stanford. He had all the options in the world. He could go anywhere that he wanted. Yesterday on Twitter, he had a video made, which, by the way, is another thing, Travis, that we can talk about maybe a different day. But if these kids are so stuck in school and working on their game, who's out there making these videos for them?
That's a good question.
And you want to tell me that these people don't get paid or don't pay somebody to get this done, or that somebody from Kentucky is not, doing this for them. But anyway, long story short, Reed Travis came out with a video that was posted on Twitter saying, I'm going to go to the University of Kentucky. Kentucky, who, as of yesterday, it will probably change today, but as of yesterday on Bovada, they were 8.5 to 1 to win the national championship. With Reed Travis added, they were top 10 prior to him. Now with him added, gives them another body with Washington inside. Of course, all the guards and all the scoring that they will have with incoming freshmen. They now go from unanimous top 10 to unanimous top 3 in a lot of situations, including, I think I saw yesterday that AP came out with a new poll. They put them number 1 over Kansas. You'll also have teams like, as I mentioned, Kansas, that's going to be up in the top 5. Nevada, who will be in the top 5, who got back all of their players. You'll also have Tennessee. Tennessee will be up there. So there will be a Duke. We can't forget about Duke. I think they had, the top 3 recruits, 1, 2, 3 in the top ESPN top 100. So you can't forget about them. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have talent to beat Kentucky. But now adding a guy in Reed Travis who has been through, an entire season before, has all the talent in the world, has what I consider better ball handling skills than Ben Simmons, shoots the ball better than Ben Simmons, and I believe, in my opinion, has more power than Ben Simmons. Now, I think motor-wise, skill-wise, everything, this guy's the entire package. Probably next year's draft, he'll go top 5 without question. His biggest issue is he fouls all the time. I think they played 33 games last year. He fouled out in 21 of them.
What?
The guy is a fouling machine. Now, is that because he has to guard everybody on a Stanford defense that was not very good? Perhaps.
Okay.
But
wow.
I mean, at the end of the day, this guy's a fouling machine, and if that gets translated over in the SEC, he's going to foul in the first 5 minutes. He won't have a choice. But with that being said, Reed Travis, as I mentioned, is now going to be a Kentucky Wildcat. And like I said, when it comes to future betting, if all of y'all out there are interested in betting on who is going to win the national championship as far as next season, if you can grab right now on Bovada 8.5 to 1 on Kentucky, probably a pretty good bet. I think they will go from 8.5 to 1 to 4 to 1, 3.5 to 1. It probably is more likely. I think it could go all the way down to 3 to 1, and they could possibly be the favorite if perhaps all the pieces come together, nobody gets hurt before the season starts. So again, congratulations to Reed Travis, going to a place that I think he's going to have a whole lot of success. So for the Kentucky Wildcats, also a huge get for them as well. Next, I want to talk about the World Cup, right? We went 5-1 the first round of matches when it comes to group play. So I'm extremely proud of that, although the last game that we selected, we did not do so hot. We had a little loss, but 5-1 overall. Like I said, I'm super happy about that. We did post something on Twitter yesterday that we liked all the big heavy favorites, but from a betting standpoint, when you take a team that's minus 250, that means you theoretically have to put up $250 to win 100. So you put up $250, you'll get $350 back. That's just a huge risk for a lot of people. Even when you're talking about $25, I'll put up $25 to win 10.
No way.
I'll put up 50 to win 20. I don't want to sit out here and give you a bunch of heavy favorites, right? I mean, that's not fun. That's not how we're going to make money. Now, what I could have done is combine the 3 heavy favorites yesterday, which were Spain, Portugal, Uruguay. Those were the 3 heavy favorites. They're all minus 250 to minus 280. I think even Spain went to like minus 345 or something crazy. But if you combine the 3 together and use it as a parlay, those 3 just money line, which means just to win the game, those 3 combined, if you were to put up $10, it was 2.1 to 1. So put up $10, you got back 21. That I think we could have posted out there, and maybe in a way I'm regretting a little bit not putting that out there. But I did also say, and I posted on Twitter, if perhaps you could get an alternate line, which was giving up a goal. So like all the teams were minus 1 goal. You got much better odds for something like that. Now you would have pushed all of the games because all the games ended up 1-0, which by the way, never happened before in a single day in World Cup history. All 3 games 1-0. Never happened before. Happened yesterday. So interesting point there. But overall, 5-1 on our actual selected picks that we have posted on Twitter. Now, when it comes to today, I'm not like a monster fan of anything really. I do like Denmark, especially if you want to give up a half a goal. So I like Denmark. They're plus 105. But if you want to give up a half a goal, they're for whatever reason on per Bovada, they're plus 110. So put up $10, you win 11. Now that's for them to win. They're playing Australia. Australia's plus 300, which is 3 to 1. A draw is 2.25 to 1, which I think a lot of people will jump on, and it makes a whole lot of sense. I do think Denmark offensively, though, can get to the back quarter and have a lot of chances. I do think the score is low. So whether it's a tie or whether it's a win for Denmark or Australia, I think it's going to be 1-0 or 0-0. I think under 2 goals is probably a good bet, but I don't like over-unders in soccer. It just seems super weird to me. But I will take Denmark. Denmark, I think, is the better team and the team that we'll select. And that's the early game, the 8 a.m. game. Probably as you're listening to this, I will post it on Twitter. But as you're listening to this, it's probably going on currently. So, but I will post it on Twitter, and it will be a game that we like, and will go towards our record. Next is the 11 a.m. game, which is France versus Peru, which I think is a super interesting game. And then lastly is Argentina, Croatia, and we'll get to that in just a minute, which is my best bet of the day. But first, France and Peru. If you were to take a team that I thought was super vulnerable, that was going to be the favorite in their group, it was France. Reason being, they played the United States in a friendly prior to the World Cup just a couple weeks ago, right? They tied us 1-1. We didn't have anybody playing. Nobody. We had all the young guys. Now, inspiring, fast, quick, but we didn't have our legendary guys, anything like Pulisic did play, but France tied us 1-1. So if I ever thought there was a vulnerable team when it came to group play, it was Group C and France. Now they play Peru today. Peru has a lot of talent. No coaching. Zero. Okay? When you take a lot of talent with no coaching, it's like, But Peru is plus 575 to win. 5.75 to 1 to win. The draw is plus 300, and that's where I'm going to go. I think today's game, France and Peru, is going to end up 1-1. It's going to be a draw, plus 300. I will post this also on Twitter, going a little bit on a limb, taking a selection for each and every game today. But I do like the draw, France and Peru, plus 300, which is 3-1 on your money. I like that a lot. Lastly, when it comes to the World Cup, Argentina plays Croatia. And if you all listened to our podcast when we talked about the World Cup and when I broke down my selections for the World Cup, I loved Croatia to win Group D. Okay? I made it clear. I said, besides Belgium, Croatia was my play of the tournament when it came to group play. I personally have a super heavy bet on Croatia to win the group. They play the only team that has any remote chance of beating them today. Now, Argentina, I'm not going to lie to you, they looked lost out there in game one.
They really did.
Okay. And then, of course, Messi gets all of the recourse because he misses a PK.
But he's missed.
It
was what, 3?
3, I think. Yeah. I think it was 3. So
coaching that was a coaching mistake.
But perhaps. But I also think, and just me personally, I think Messi's like he's already peaked.
Yeah.
He's already peaked. And a team like Argentina who has talent, but when you rely on one guy like that, especially a guy that might not be like 100% like he used to be. Now, don't get me wrong. We're talking about Lionel Messi, okay? I mean, like, let's be real. But the guy is kind of over the hump. And I think Croatia, especially the way they won their first game 2-0, just completely manhandled, right? I think Croatia today, plus 285 for a lot. I like them to win outright. And if perhaps they win outright, it'll be the first time, and I forget, I think it was like, so let's try to get the years right, 1972, that Argentina will miss the knockout stage. They'll miss the knockout stage for the first time since 1972 if they lose today. I do also think if perhaps you might not like that, a draw is also like a really good bet at 2.25 to 1. I do love Croatia. I think they win the group. I love them today to beat Argentina. But if perhaps you're a little bit leery or you might want to take an alternate route, I think the draw is definitely another plausible play at 2.25 to 1. I will tell you this. I do not, and we'll go on record and we'll take a lot of heat if I'm wrong, I do not like Argentina at all today. At all. Zero.
I mean, based upon their last game, I think you're absolutely right.
No. They didn't score.
That was terrible.
They didn't score. You're telling me against the size and strength of Croatia on the back end that all of a sudden Argentina's going to score? No, bro. No. No. Croatia, 2.85 to 1. Give it to me for all the money. Ship it. So tomorrow, we're not going to go through selections. I'll post them on Twitter if perhaps I like something, but let's just go through tomorrow's games. You have Brazil, which, by the way, you want to talk about nuts. Neymar got fouled 10 times, and I'm not kidding you when I say, like, I actually legitimately felt bad for a soccer player for once. That dude was on the ground more than he was standing up. Now, with that being said, there's always this, soccer players just fall on the ground, right? They don't even get hit. They fall on the ground. They grab their ankle or their shin, their legs cut off. But Neymar was seriously just trampled in their first game. They play Costa Rica. Costa Rica has no chance. No chance. Okay? So that should easily be 1-0, 2-0, something like that. It should never be close, ever. The second game might be the most interesting game of the entire tournament. That's Nigeria versus Iceland. Iceland gets a draw, game 1, which I thought...
But they looked impressive.
I 100% agree. Nigeria has, again, all the talent in the world, but for whatever reason, they just can't put it together. Now, Iceland, they're plus 170. Nigeria's plus 185. The draw is plus 210. I'm going to have to figure out something, but yes, to me, Iceland looked like a team that deserves to be out there. So that will be an interesting game, in my opinion at least. Could be one of the best games of the tournament. Lastly, you have Serbia versus Switzerland. Another game that should be extremely tight. Two teams that are both ranked in the top 15 in the world. A game that will go a long way when it comes to Group E. That being also with Brazil and Costa Rica. So that's going to be a big game for both of those teams. I do like Serbia. I like Serbia. We picked Serbia. I picked Serbia behind Brazil, but now it looks like perhaps that Serbia has a chance to put a stranglehold on this entire thing. The Swiss just did beat Nigeria 2-0 or 3-0, which was kind of a big surprise. But I think that could be another interesting game to watch. But lastly, when we talk about the World Cup, I want to talk about one thing. How about Cristiano Ronaldo? Bro, what in the...
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay? In a game against Spain, he has 3 goals. 3 goals against Spain. Literally says, hey, Portugal, jump on my back. I got you, bro. I got you.
Unbelievable.
It's unreal how good he really is. Right? I mean, it's crazy. And then, of course, for the first time in his career, he puts in a free kick for the first time in his career, and it was in the 89th minute to tie the game at 3.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, you knew like all things were clicking. Then, of course, scores again yesterday in a 1-0 victory with a header. So he has 4 goals through 2 games. A guy like that who's playing at that level, I mean, he's going to be hard to pick against just in general. I mean, he's like the LeBron James of soccer, right? You can put a bunch of 10-year-olds around Cristiano Ronaldo, they're still going to score.
I really want to see them win it all.
Hey, look, the guy deserves it.
He does.
100%. Okay, so I'm not going to say, I mean, I have a sizable bet on Belgium, but if perhaps there was a team that I wouldn't mind, Portugal would be it.
And that's the game right there, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Portugal, Belgium.
Oh, definitely.
All right.
So, World Cup, just a little bit of recap. Obviously, today's games, we'll post those on Twitter prior to the start of the first game. Also, look for tomorrow's games. Look on my Twitter for my selections for tomorrow's games. But next, I want to talk about the biggest horse race this weekend, the Ohio Derby. The Ohio Derby is hosted in Cincinnati, Ohio at Thistle Downs, owned by Jack's Casino. It's a $500,000 purse, grade 3, and it stars 2 Derby runners, that being Lone Sailor and Flame Away. So, interesting race. From a pace standpoint, it's going to be pretty quick, but you have the best horse perhaps. I mean, and I say this with a little bit of a grain of salt because Lone Sailor did finish 8th in the Kentucky Derby. Perhaps the best horse in the race is Lone Sailor, and he's going to be way back. Now, I don't watch Thistle Downs. Okay. Like I'll be honest with you. I don't typically watch Thistle Downs, but I am going to the next couple of days for one reason and one reason only. I want to know if perhaps when it's hot, 100 degrees outside, are horses coming from behind to win? If they're not, if it's all speed that's winning, Lone Sailor has no chance to win on Saturday. No chance. And he's going to be probably the prohibitive heavy favorite. He'll be, I think he's 5-2. Let's look right here. Well, he's 3-1 on the morning line. He could be like 8-5. Right? Also, Flame Away for Mark Cassie, Jose Lascano. They are the morning line choice, 5-2. They did draw the 2-hole as Lone Sailor drew the 3. Other horses in this race, you have Takedown for Lacey Gadet and Luis Colon. They're 20-1 on the morning line. Number 4 is Caloric, a horse that will be part of the early pace. Could set things up almost in a way for Lone Sailor. He could make the race, the pace quite hot. So Caloric, 30-1, has no chance of winning, but could be part of the early pace. Like I said, that could be quite important as the race prolongs. Title Ready. Title Ready is an interesting horse. Steve Asmussen, CJ McMahon. Horse that's a 10-1 that definitely has a chance. Mike Rohn and Erwin Rosanato. Trigger Warning, 12-1, the 6 horse. Also another horse that I think can maybe get some of the gimmicks. Third, fourth, perhaps at 12-1. A little bit of a price. The next one might be the most interesting horse of all. And I don't want to go into great detail because I will be covering this on the email. This particular race, I could be perhaps putting in an all stakes pick 5 ticket on the email as well. But I do want to break down this particular race because it is a big race, that being a grade 3 and a $500,000 purse. But the 7 Diamond King, this one is definitely a horse that I think has a monster chance. 6-1 morning line. Frankie Pennington in the irons for John Service. Definitely a horse to take a look at if you're looking at this race, going to be betting this race. 6-1 on the line, could be absolutely left on the tote board. Might not get any play whatsoever. So that's the 7 Diamond King. Number 8 for me personally is a horse that I hope wins. Number 8 is Machismo, 20-1 on the morning line. Anthony Cordoloro for Kevin Radke. But most importantly, a guy that we all love on Twitter. His name is Luch. Okay, he goes by Luch Racing Stable on Twitter. He was the one that took down the pick 6 jackpot at Churchill Downs for $550,000. He plays absolutely monster tickets. Fun to watch. Hell of a guy. He's going to be sending 10 people to Traverse Day at Saratoga. He's opening up a restaurant. Had a poll. Had everybody give out suggestions for names and stuff. So he liked a couple of names. Hasn't officially given the word as to what he's going to name his restaurant, but all the ones that he liked, anybody who had those suggestions, he's sending them to Saratoga for Traverse Day. A really great guy for horse racing, a guy who gives back to the community, a guy that I hope, if perhaps my bets don't come in, I hope it's number 8, Machismo, is the one that beats me for Luch Racing Stable. Number 9 is Okratos. Okratos for Darwin, Banach, and Channing Hill, 12-1 on the morning line. Number 10 is Core Beliefs. A lot of people are going to be playing this horse. I think perhaps could be a little bit slow, but I'll dig into that a little bit more. 5-1 on the morning line. Peter Urton, Joe Talamo. Number 11 is Dream Baby Dream. Steve Asmussen again, Ricardo Feliciano, 15-1 on the morning line. And then lastly, the 12. Last Drop of Wine, 30-1 on the morning line. Anthony Rennie and T.D. Houghton in the irons. That one will not have a chance. But needless to say, a set of 12 horses starred by Flame Away and Lone Sailor. That being Saturday from Thistledown, Chicago, Ohio. Come on now. Cincinnati, Ohio.
Come on.
Now, it's either Chicago, Illinois, or Cincinnati, Ohio. You know,
let's get it right here.
I guess I'm already thinking about the Arlington Million, which is coming up in a month and a half or so. But Cincinnati, Ohio, 5:10 post time on Saturday. please stay with me here. When it comes to the email, I will have selections for that particular race. Again, could possibly have a pick 5 ticket as well. I wanted to touch base with everybody. We are going to be having a giveaway. We mentioned it on the previous podcast. Okay. We're going to be posting a picture of what we're going to be giving away, and it's going to be Justify related. He won the Kentucky Derby. We found somebody local that did something that's really, really cool, and we want to give it away to you, the people, only if we can reach 150 followers here at On The Switch. Go to Twitter, drop us a follow at On The Switch 1. So it is On The Switch 1. Drop us a follow. Also, this podcast won't be anything without your help. Go to iTunes, go to our page, go to iTunes, subscribe, completely free. Takes 2 seconds. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave us some questions. You can get at us at GinoG@ontheswitch.com. You can send an email to Travis, at travis@ontheswitch.com. We would love to hear suggestions, questions, concerns, bets, anything, whatever. We would love to cover it here on the show. Also, and lastly, we have some breaking news when it comes to the show. I would love to announce, and we posted this on Twitter last night, we are now on Spotify. So if you don't have iTunes, you don't have an iPhone, anything like that, go to Spotify, subscribe, leave us a comment, a message, a question. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. It's a huge deal for us. We're super happy about it, and we're super happy to give you all the information that we do on this podcast. I cannot thank you all enough when it comes to the email, when it comes to all your suggestions, all your questions, all the really sweet comments that you all left me when I sent out an email just the other day saying, there's going to be a little bit of a change. Instead of breaking down Thursday through Sunday, Churchill Downs only, unless if there's a big day, Preakness, Belmont, something like that, I'm going to do a little bit of changes just for you all because we love you all. I am going to break down Saturday and Sunday, Churchill Downs, Belmont Park, and then a racetrack of your choice. So if you're listening to this right now and you're not part of the email, please send myself or Travis an email. Travis@ontheswitch.com, GinoG@ontheswitch.com. Send us an email so we can get you added ASAP. In the subject to say new subscriber, new user, whatever you want, and then in the actual text field, let us know what third track that you all want. I want to say it was like over 200 emails to people. I've heard back from so many of y'all, and so many of y'all had so many good things to say about us, and we appreciate that more than we could ever probably express into words. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I want to know from all of you all, what track do you want? I am willing to do Saturday and Sunday, Churchill Downs, Belmont Park, and then whatever track you want. Arlington, Woodbine, Santa Anita, Golden Gate, Gulfstream, whatever you want, I'm here for you. Hoosier, Los Alamitos. I mean, it goes on forever.
Bring it on.
I am willing because you all have been so great to us. I'm more than willing to break down a third track, full analysis as I do, or as I used to do Thursday through Sunday when it comes to Churchill Downs. Now we're going to be doing Churchill Downs Saturday and Sunday, Belmont Park Saturday and Sunday, and then your track of your choice. So please get at us. Respond to the email if you haven't already. If perhaps you thought you were part of the email route and you didn't receive an email, send me an email. Send me an email. I would be more than happy to, first of all, apologize that I missed you somehow. But when you send over 200 emails, sometimes things do happen. So I would be more than happy to do whatever I possibly can for you. Also, in that text field, when you send an email, let me know what kind of bets that you like. Maybe I can start intertwining some things that fancy you a little bit. Do you like exactas, trifectas, superfectas? I know I always give out pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s, pick 6s. But if you want something else, I'm going to try and do whatever I possibly can for you all, the people. From Travis and I, here in Louisville, Kentucky, we love you all more than anything, and we appreciate you all listening to the show today. Stay with us. Look on my Twitter for bets on World Cup. Also, golf starts this weekend, so we're not going to have any bets, but be looking for British Open early bets because odds will change and whatnot. So please look on my Twitter for that. Also, giveaway. I know I've mentioned it 3 times already. We're giving away some.
It's important, folks. It's important.
It is important.
We assure you.
We're going to be posting something most likely on Monday. We'll have a picture. We'll be telling you all a little bit the basis around the picture. But we need to hit 150 followers at On The Switch. If you don't go to at On The Switch 1 on Twitter and follow them, and we can't get up to 150, we're not giving anything away. Okay, so please, giveaway, go to On The Switch, follow us on Twitter, then go immediately to iTunes. Takes 2 seconds. Immediately to iTunes, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, any suggestions, questions, whatever. We would love to have all the questions on the show and answer them for you, the people. From Travis and I, again from Louisville, Kentucky, we love you all and we'll talk to y'all soon.
On The Switch.